all of that. And then when we were to do our final presentation in class, different projects, and I, presented for my team, and the way when I finished, everywhere went quiet, and then one lone voice said, reporting for BBC.
Oh, wow.
Exactly the response. Everybody started clapping. That's when I was for the first time conscious of my voice and the effect it could have on people. Fast forward to it was our final project, and then we were sent out for NYC, and I found myself at Isi Alangwa in Abia State. So we got there, and funny enough, my father had a collection of jazz music and R&B. I mean, he's a Gemini, so you can understand he had a thing for music. So I took a transistor radio, those radio sets that you can play cassettes with. So I took cassettes with me, my daddy's collection, and I took that radio that I had in school, I took it to camp, and it became my tools of trade.
So you were in OBS?
So I was in OBS, and there was no other radio on campus. We used to make announcement from the OBS, and then when I brought my radio and I had those cassettes, we started having requests.
Okay.
Yes, so you can then go make a request for your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your crush, and then we had announcement.
You're always there.
That's so cheesy.
Yeah, we were young,
It was
and
fun.
it was fun.
It was fun.
So we started having shifts.
Yeah.
We started running shifts. So
Yes.
when it was time to post people out, it
People,
was a natural
It
for
was
the
natural.
BCOS, the BCA, which is the Broadcasting Corporation of Abia. And interestingly, I started there as a journalist. I was a reporter. The first reporting I did was to cover the governor, Temi Ejo, back then. So when people say, when much later in life they say, but she's a broadcaster, a presenter, and she's just a presenter, she's not a reporter, I will laugh and say, if you know
Where I started.
how I started and where I started from, I was a, and if you have people in Abia now who knew Funke back then, they'll tell you, my programs were to listen to.
Great.
I was producing, I was a news and current affairs producer in those days. I was producing news from the grassroots, this and that, and was also anchoring the breakfast show. But I was doing both together with music presentations as well.
Okay.
So that's why I had this
Okay.
versatility right from
As
the
an
beginning.
all-rounder.
Yes, so I started in the newsroom and then moved because somebody said, you know you have a very good voice. It was, can't remember his name now. I said, you have a very good voice. Don't you want to be on radio and just be speaking on radio? That was how he was saying it, almost whispering it to me that day. So you can see it never left me. So I said, Say, yes, so should I not choose you?
Wow.
Maybe I should just start presenting on radio. I said, okay. So I went to choose him. She said, that's true. You should do an audition. So the thing is, you don't just go on radio. You must have an audition.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm coming from the audition tradition. So you must have an audition for us to know
You
what
have
will
to.
best suit
Yes.
you. You don't just crash in,
Yeah.
and then start accusing people of not respecting you.
Do you know the very interesting thing? Many people today went through 5 auditions in their lifetime
You keep
To get-
failing
to
now
get-
and keep returning.
to get that shot. So every time you go, you do the audition, you record, they listen to it, come back in 3 weeks' time. The idea is, with you ready.
You're not ready.
come
Yeah,
back.
you're not ready.
And they
yet.
point your errors out, go. Then you go, they come back again, they say 5 times. I have people who have done 5 times. So when you get the job,
You appreciate
So
it.
but I don't
Appreciate
think that there is that much professionalism anymore
no.
when it comes to things like
Not
that.
much anymore because they demonize those of us who still hold the tradition dear to us, and then they think we're old school. I remember saying to a friend, I said, how did I just suddenly become a dinosaur? But I'm not even 60 yet. I'm how?
That's right.
Because when you say this thing, like, old school, yeah, come again.
John Susan says old school is the best school.
Honestly.
And I never let that off my head. It's the best school.
I agree with you.
It's the best.
It's been amazing.
So
Definitely amazing having you.
I know that we're coasting home and all of that, and we've definitely even gone far above and beyond what we plan to do. But this happens when you're having fun. And honestly, we are having fun.
Thank you. you.
But I'm going to ask you again, another one. Can you remember a few of the people? You've mentioned a few of your contemporaries, but can you give us more names? Because we have younger people watching and listening, and the beauty of what we're doing is that we're posting everything online. 5-10 years from now, they're still going to check them. It's going to be there forever anyway.
Right.
So could you tell us a little bit more about your contemporaries, the ones that you work with, and again, the older people? Can you remember a few of the older broadcasters that you met on the job and how they received you, or maybe we talked about the embarrassing moments, but again, they're also the encouraging moments, and people who pointed you, a certain way, like, okay, do this or do that.
I'll talk first of all about Mr. Okole. He should be a chief now. It's Chief Okole. Chief left BCA, that's the Broadcasting Corporation of Abia State, for Ebonyi when the state was created. But he was the first boss I worked with in the news department. I was writing commentaries. So when people see me as a writer today, it didn't just start today. Yes, I'm a creative writer, but I can also write hard stuff. And I started writing the hard stuff.
News commentaries.
News commentaries and writing press reviews back then, and current affairs. So I'll never forget Chief Okole. And when you're talking of music presentation, I'll never forget Chuzi Iboko. I wish I could have that kind of voice. Presence. The first time I heard him on the news, it was my second day in Umahia after leaving Isi Alamba. I sat up and went like,
Who's this?
Google, be careful. What's that? Rich. When you hear a male, rich voice, textured and unhurried and unharried, and you hear, and you're like, don't stop the news. Just
continue.
Just keep talking. He talked the news.
Wow.
Oh my word. It's a salute to Chuzi Boko. He was a natural, he was trained and all that. He was also a DJ in his time. So I remember him. I remember some of my contemporaries there. Ikechukwu Ojoyenfe. I remember when Ikechukwu went to the training school and returned with his wife now. They were my colleagues and they had completely transformed. That's when I realized that the place of training, I read English and we did phonetics and phonology. I did NC and then I did degree. So I did phonetics and phonology, like twice, those courses, and I was coming from an oral English background. So this was a natural for me. But when these people came, this were, especially the female, Oluchi at that time was quite provincial. And then she came completely transformed. Like, where did you go to?
What happened?
What miracle? What happened? And that's when I started hearing of Ilemi Okumi and the training school, the FRC and training school back in the days, not now. And
not now.
Everything has changed. That's what I mean. So I then aspired to go to that training school. Like, if they did this to these two people, I want to be there. And that's how I left the eastern part of Nigeria for Lagos. I just wanted to be where the action was at that time. And that was the beginning of Ray Power. And it was so everywhere. They were dominating.
93, 94, right?
Yes, about 95, 96, 97. And they were all over, their presenters were all over the celebrity magazines at that time.
True.
The Mayor Akipelu, they were the ones reigning at that time. I don't think city people had started that. I'm not too sure.
There was no city people.
So it was those
fame.
people.
It was
fame. They were the ones reigning that and this is where I should be.
Yes,
and at that time, make no mistakes, I was very popular in the southern part of Nigeria. People were listening to me in Akwa Ibom and Cross River. I mean, there was an alumni of us who said, no, you didn't serve in Abia, you served in Akwa Ibom. For you to know how
the range.
Yeah, the range in Onitsha. Kazima Febua, the politician, was my classmate in school. And he used to listen to me. He served around that place in Anambra at that time. He used to listen to me like you can touch the radio. So I was very popular. I had suitors. Hey, I had suitors. You know how it was. You were very you were hot, hotter than, So I had students from Rivers, from Port Harcourt. They would come to Omaya from Port Harcourt to come and see.
This
That's
guy, when they
very
talk for him.
where she did, you know. So I was quite popular. Then when I wanted that transition, I didn't understand why my popularity at that time couldn't translate to that visibility that I was reading in the papers, and why are the raper people having all of this. So I wanted to be in Lagos, and I made that move. The thing about me, when I want it, I go for it. So I went for it. I came to Lagos. I wanted them to send me to the training school, but they didn't. That was where indigenization came into play at that time, and the fact that where they said they didn't have money. But I felt at that time it was because I wasn't Abian and Easterner at that time. But really, they ended up not sending anybody. So I buy the explanation that they didn't have money to send. So I sent myself. So I came to Lagos and said I was going to go to the FRC in Spain. I went there. That's where I met Burna Boy's grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Burna Boy's grandfather,
Yeah.
Benson Idorije. He taught us interviewing. And that's where I met Ilemio Koka. I mean, I've met some of the best in the industry. It would be a shame if I didn't turn out well. It would be a big shame, you know. So the people in my class back then, they were models. Some of them have left broadcasting. I can't remember all their names. But when I got into Radio Nigeria, it was from the training school that I got recommended for Radio Nigeria. It was Ilemio Koka who recommended me through the late Veronica Osawere. And now a broadcaster. She's left broadcasting now. She's now a lawyer. What's her name now? She's not a lawyer. She's a fantastic lawyer too. Now, so Veronica Osawere, the late Veronica Osawere, did my audition. She was supposed to do my audition, and this other woman did it. And the only thing I didn't get right was journalism. I called it journalism. So I passed with that journalism, and I became one of the few professionals who worked in the twilight days of RM2. So I was part of the RM2 people in the twilight days. Shortly, I met Cordelia Okwe there, great woman, professional, fantastic presenter. At some point, people were mixing us together on Radio Express, which was the breakfast show back then. So I met Cordelia Okwe, and then it was later that Charles and Azodo joined, Frank Edo joined. They all came from DBN to Radio Nigeria. And
what about Charles Eruka at any point?
Charles Eruka was always with Voice of Nigeria. You know, we shared the same space. Yeah, so you come in, if you're coming into Radio Nigeria, you went past Voice of Nigeria before you got to our main operational area in Radio Nigeria. So we had Kamal Salau.
Yeah, Kamal.
Who did what was that? He also had a reality show. He also presented.
Kamal ended up at City FM now, right?
He ended up at City FM too, and then he left.
That guy was another. Where is Kamal?
Kamal is at large in the diaspora. I think I heard he is in Australia. I'm not too sure now, but he relocated at some point.
Did Sulai meet you guys there?
Sulai met us there. Sulai Alede met us there. In fact, at some point when I was presenting Divas of Africa, hey, we had programs. Divas of Africa was a program whereby we just played, songs, music from African songstresses. So you played from Ghana, from South Africa, Mali, a lot of singers in Mali. And then when I finished my shift, I handed over to Sulai for the midnight shift. They used to call me Dawn Treasure. Dawn Treasure, And then we had Crystal Lems, who's now also with Channels TV. Quite a number of people. There was Danielle Badagri, who used to do the Saturday shift. And the thing at that time was that we all came into the RM2 in the twilight days, because RM2 metamorphosed into Metro FM that you have today. And so when we became Metro FM under the tutelage and transitional administration of Boombar and the late Atiladi Atoyebi, and then we became the Metros, and that's when we metamorphosed from Radio Express to AM Lagos, and we were hot. We were hot. That was when there are lots of late. It just shows that you're old. That's when the late Dan Foster came into town. And this was what he said. He said, when he came into Lagos, Frank Edo and I were the two people that gave him a run. Because we had, to use his words, we had Lagos by the balls.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
Yeah.
But that's what he said at that time. So he worked at wrestling Lagos for us and he did it. Because again, he was working, or he works with a private radio station.
It was easier for him to do a lot of things.
It was much
And
easier.
one thing that people must not rule out, respect to Dan Foster, I love him. The giveaways were also a big help. The giveaways were a big help.
Yeah.
Let's not lie.
Yeah.
There was a day they gave out ₦1 million. Like, what are you talking about? Exactly, like, how can public sector compete with that?
Yeah, it was tough, and it was easy for him to wrestle Lagos from us, and with his
Well, that guy was
theatrics as
an
well.
amazing,
It was a
amazing
phenomenon.
broadcaster.
It was a phenomenon. And then we had Tutu Badmus join us at some point. God rest her soul. Tutu was with us on Metro FM. Great. I have never, seen such a voice-over voice like Tutu Badmus.
Yeah, super,
Oh gosh,
super,
the voice was just unparalleled.
super voice.
It was distinct. She was one of us. And then we had people. We had, oh wow, it was a family. It was, and then we had the likes of Emeka Odipo, who's retired now, who used to come in. We had Joan Susan. I remember the first time I paired with Patrick Oke on Radio Express. I almost died. Like, let me just faint right now. Like,
This is Patrick, okay,
Right here.
I started writing my memoirs long before I left Radio
Wow.
Nigeria. One of the things I quickly put down was my encounter with Patrick Oke. I couldn't, we were co-presenting, like co-presenting with Patrick Oke of the Newsline.
Patrick
fame.
okay of Craig and okay, like,
yes,
you know,
like Patrick Oke, like just kill me now. It's okay to
It's
see
okay,
my
I'm good.
makeup
I'm good.
after now, you know. So I couldn't. That's another experience. I couldn't say anything for the first maybe 3 minutes. He was just
and I'm
talking.
sure you knew, you'd be
He
like,
was just talking like. Yes, it's going like yes, Kuku
But that
just hearing
voice.
his voice.
that voice.
You know, but so these are the things that shaped me. When you present with people that big up there and they level to come to your level and say, we're cool. And I was like, Patrick, you called him by his name. Ha! Hey, people will say,
In my life.
I am calling Patrick by his name. Ah, Mom, I've made it.
Mama, I made it. Oh my God.
You know, so I never met Yinka Craig, but I met John Susan, I met Manion Mono. He wasn't a presenter, but these people came in off and on. Bisi Olatulo, all those people. Because again, we were the bridge, sort of, you know, so these people came around, we were the ones there, and they always hailed us that people are doing well, and took over well from us. Unfortunately, we can't say the same about
The
the
ones
people
here now.
who took over from
Yeah.
us.
Okay, guys, look, Funke, I'm highly honored to be here with you today.
Thank you, sir.
As usual, I really don't have much to say, but I have a lot to write about. This encounter must also be written down,
Thank you.
and it will go a long way. Guys.
Yeah, I think that's all. We're very, very, very grateful that you're
you-
here.
I thought you had a notepad.
No,
We-
We're
we're
not taking any notes now.
We
But
actually,
you can listen back.
Oh yeah. Oh.
we actually have a plaque to give you, but it's not here. The delivery person, I've been in touch with them back. That's why I actually stepped out.
Oh, okay.
They're caught up in some funny traffic, and that's what we always do. We deliberately leave it, and I think we're going to stop that system. So they bring it in. It's a surprise and all of that. So I'm sorry, but I need to announce it. So what we're going to do is to bring it to you.
We'll definitely.
But we would have
deliver it.
loved it because
If
that's
we
what we
had
did.
it.
And you know, you saw the reaction. Bosse was shocked because we don't tell them, and it comes because we want to actually celebrate and appreciate you. So we have a certificate and a plaque to give to you, saying that we love and appreciate what you've done for the business, and hope that you won't stop and you continue to do what you do, and also to let you know that anything that you're working on, and we know you're always working on positive things, we want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of it completely, like from coverage to news to everything. We really want to be a part of everything you do, because we know that you're changing lives and we want to be a part of that. So thank you for being who you are. For people like Nnamdi Obayan and Adebayo Oluwake and a couple of other people who've been reaching out and all, they're not doing it because they don't have a job. They're doing it because of who you are, and they knew that you were coming, and they just, and I'm sure we didn't even the sad part is we always sent messages to Adebayo. Yeah. This time we did not.
We did not.
So he stumbled on it, and I need to apologize to him anyway, because he's like, wait, let me not talk too much. I'm getting emotional, but thank you, Funke Treasure. You are indeed what your name is, a treasure, and we appreciate you for this. And we pray that you will continue. Like they say, broadcasters, they do not retire, they do not resign, they do not do. Well, they can resign, but they do not retire.
There you go.
You know, but
they never
they never.
Wait, no,
You
you
know, but it's true.
Yeah.
And again,
True.
True. I was listening to an interview that Yomi Opakule sent to me. It was a snippet of an interview by, I think it was Michelle Obi. He was speaking to Modele Sharafa.
Yeah.
She's contesting to be governor of Ogun State.
Contesting.
I'm saying it here, I, as Shola Roger, to do anything I can to support her. I don't care what anybody says, because I see her as one of ours, and whatever we can, we will do for her.
I mean, I started sharing her campaign stuff with her.
Oh.
Never met her.
Without even having a transaction.
I don't belong to her team. I've never met her in reality, but I just love the persona and what she's built for herself, the credibility.
Yeah.
You know, when you say people have professional cred and then they have street cred.
And that's what Modele has.
Yes.
And you know, so for that reason, I brought that name up, because she might be sitting in that chair any moment from now.
Right.
But what we want to do, in essence, is to always celebrate people. But there was something that was said. Mitchell Obi said it, and she said, "Oh yeah," she said it. Then Mitchell kind of tweaked it, and this is what was said: that broadcasters or journalists, they are like what's that? Like a confraternity. And someone said no. One of them now said no. Cult. And I said, she now said, she didn't want to use the word cult because of the way things are going now. But really and truly, you people are cultists. All of you. I'm saying it. I'm accusing you now. And me too.
You are the Baba.
Oh, no, because I was just waiting for you to say, you said we too.
You know, and I love this cult of journalism, because the way people relate with each other, it's beautiful, and we will do whatever we can. So that's what we're saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In my other language, namaste.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Let me quickly say that when I heard about Boom Radio, it was Bose Kafo that brought it to my consciousness, because Yomi Opakule sent the flyer to me, and I was like, hey, I repost this one, even though he's just sent it to me, and I posted it, I made it public, and I wrote that she was our consultant when I ran the Funke Treasure Table Tennis Championship in Ibadan. I mean, she stayed with us for 4 days. We ran the championship for 3 days because we also did coaching. I made her to coach young people in table tennis, and then she was she was the key official for the championship itself. So that was what brought Boom Radio to my consciousness. So then it's good to have newsmakers come to your business or to your space. So when I heard, and then I spoke with Yomi Opakule, and he said, "Oh, Boom Radio is owned by Shola Regis." I mean, I just literally jumped out of my skin like, finally, yes. You know, it is heartwarming when you hear professionals being at the helm of affairs for, you know, spaces like this. They own it. You look forward to excellence. You look forward to professionalism. You look forward to something like a fraternity. You just feel like it belongs to me too. That Shola Rogers did it. It is our own. You know, we own it together. I have not yet recovered from it. Stepping in here today and seeing the reality on ground, I went like, oh God, yes, this is it. This is it. More of this. We don't have to, have all the money in the world to do this. And Shola, you are a pride to a lot of us. Yes, you are a pride to all of us. I almost teared up when I came in. Like, yes. We don't have to continue to be employees forever. And then when one of you does this, it's a sign to the rest of us that we will get there. It's a sign to the rest of us that, yes, we may not have the cash that these big owners have, but we're on the way to getting there. So, Shola, I congratulate you. This is huge for me. I don't know about the other people, but this is huge for me.
Excuse me.
Sir?
You don't know about the other people
Oh, God.
outside.
Why do you do the things that you do?
And
I do
inside.
it now. I'm part
So-
of I'm a court.
Yeah, a fraternity
I'm a
somebody.
fraternity somebody.
So congratulations. I couldn't wait to take my photo. Boom radio. Boom shaka.
Definitely
This is
taking
awesome.
it.
This is awesome. This is a dream come true. I see your dream, and I'm going to be there when you're, launching this big time. When you go terrestrial, anywhere I am in the world, I'm going to be part of it. And if you need training, I'm going to do training for your
Definitely do.
employees as well. What I tell people is that, if you take it to the grave and you don't share it, it's good to make money, but it's also good to understand that it's a fact that you need to give back to, and you need to help others grow, and you need to support good developments in the country. It's like Boom Radio is my own. That's how I'm feeling, like this is a dream come true, and I know where Shola Rogers is coming in the sense that this is finally mine. It's amazing and it's commendable. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Shola, for doing this, for having the courage to do it, because it takes a lot of courage to stand out and say, I'm going to go for it. And even if I fall, I will be doing it anyway. Whether I fall or rise, I will stick my neck out. It's not easy not to earn a salary. And I can tell you that for free, because I'm retired without benefit, because I'm not yet the age of collecting whatever. So I understand what it means to stand on your own, stick your neck out and say, I'm going to do this. I don't care, and I'm not going to take regular employment. I'm going to stand and stick to my dream, and I'm going to give it the shots that it needs, and even more shots than it needs. And even if I'm not getting the proper money or the remuneration there, I'm going to keep at it. So, courage, that's what you've shown us. Bravery, that's what you've shown us. We thank you for it. I thank you personally for doing this. You tell me that treasure, I'm waiting for you on the other side. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I personally learned a lot. I'm still going to learn.
I'm here for training.
I'm definitely going to learn. Just before we go, wow, we spent a lot of time. Just before we go,
longest Boombar we've ever tried.
yeah, it is the longest.
Seriously?
Yes.
It feels like
Yes.
it feels like we can go another 1 hour.
Yes, it is.
That's
It is.
long.
It is actually. It is.
So
It is.
what's the time now?
Oh,
Is
it's
it 5 or 6?
Oh, it's about 2 minutes to 5.
2 minutes.
Sorry.
I have to be on another show.
Let's shut down.
Let's shut down. That's it for today. Just for something that we had talked about earlier, Governor Maya has come out to say that he's still governor, and that it's an abuse of court.
You should come.
It's an abuse of court to sack him. He was sacked, as well as 16 of his House of Assembly members as well, for defecting and all. But definitely they say they're going to appeal court as usual.
And what's the news about Ogun State's cabinet also resigning en masse in Ogun State as well? I saw the news today.
You did.
Yeah.
To be honest, I
You
still
saw
want
it.
to take that with a pinch of salt.
Okay,
you know
it's
how-
not been reported
yeah,
by
yeah.
a major news
Yeah,
outlets.
I've not
Okay.
really caught that. And finally, a lawyer has now sued Abuja Electric Disco for 200 million naira in damages for poor electricity supply to his house.
It's all
I think
About
it's the
time.
way
It's
to
all
go.
right.
It really is the way
Class
to go.
action.
I'm
Let's
telling
do
you,
it together.
we need to do these things. People need to sit up. And on that note, that is all we have to take today on the Boombar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. We definitely will be back again tomorrow. This time at 3 p.m. West African time.
I have 1 hour.
Alright.
I knew you would rub it in.
I am not the one.
We still like query.
It is Funke.
It is Funke. Blame it on the Funke. Blame it on the Funke.
The white wearers. The white wearers.
Oh, we didn't get the memo.
This morning I'm like,
See how
okay.
men
It's
are.
only
I
meant
mean-
for cultists.
Really. All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. We'll be back again tomorrow. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.